Today we will learn complementary angles and supplementary angles. Here, lines AB and CD are intersecting at point P. What do we call such lines? Think. Absolutely correct. We call such lines as intersecting lines. Angles are formed by the intersection of two lines. We measure the angle with the help of a protractor. Today we will learn two interesting concepts related to angles. Here, some figures are given. Out of these figures, 3 of them share a special relation, but the fourth one is different from the rest. Can you identify what that relation is? Pause the video and try to find the answer. Here, there are two angles in each figure. In the first figure, we see that sum of angle ABC and angle CBD is 50 degree plus 40 degree is equal to 90 degree. In figure B also, we see that angle PQR plus angle ABC is equal to 63 degree plus 27 degree is equal to 90 degree. Similarly, if we talk of figure D, then angle DEF plus angle LMN is equal to 75 degree plus 15 degree is equal to 90 degree. In this way, if the sum of any two angles is 90 degree, then they are called complementary angles of each other. Now, by looking at the angles given in figure 3, can you tell if they are complementary angles or not? Think. Absolutely correct. Here, angle TUV plus angle VUW is equal to 25 degree plus 20 degree is equal to 45 degree, which is less than 90 degree. Therefore, this is not a complementary angle. In figure 1, angle ABC and angle CBD are complementary angles. When two angles are complementary angles, then each angle is called a complement of the other. Here, some figures are provided. Here also, there is a special relation between these three figures. Can you tell what that relation is? Pause the video and try. Here also, there are two angles in each figure. In figure A, we see that the sum of both the angles is 55 degree plus 125 degree is equal to 180 degree. In figure B, the sum of both the angles is 105 degree plus 75 degree is equal to 180 degree. In figure C also, the sum of both the angles is 90 degree plus 90 degree is equal to 180 degree. Similarly, if the sum of any two angles is 180 degree, then they are called supplementary angles. If two angles such as angle 55 degree and angle 125 degree are supplementary, then each angle is called a supplement of the other. For instance, here angle 55 degree is the supplement of angle 125 degree, or we can also say that angle 125 degree is the supplement of angle 55 degree. Now, if you have understood the concept of supplementary and complementary angles, then can you tell among the given figures which figures are examples of complementary and supplementary angles? Are there any figures which are neither complementary nor supplementary? Pause the video and try. Let me explain this. Here, in figures A, C, F, the sum of angles of each one is 90 degree. Therefore, the angles mentioned in such figures are complementary to each other. In figure B and E, we see that the sum of its angles is 180 degree. Therefore, the angles represented in these figures are supplementary to each other. Addition of angles of figures D is 138 degree. Therefore, the angles in figure D are neither complementary angles nor supplementary angles. So now, you must have understood the concept of complementary and supplementary angles. Today, we have learned complementary angles and supplementary angles. In the next video, we will learn it with a few more examples. Today we will see examples of complementary angles and supplementary angles. Identify the correct and incorrect statements. Two acute angles can be complementary angles. In the previous video, we learned that if the sum of any two angles is 90 degree, then they are called complementary angles of each other. And if the sum of any two angles is 180 degree, then they are called supplementary angles. On the basis of this, let's find out whether the given statement is correct or incorrect. If we divide a 90-degree angle and make two angles, then we will get acute angles. This means two acute angles can be complementary angles, therefore the given statement is correct. Two acute angles can be supplementary angles. Let's find out whether the given statement is true or false. Suppose angle A and angle B are acute angles. This means angle A is smaller than 90 degree and angle B is also smaller than 90 degree. If we add both the angles, then the sum of angle A and angle B will be less than 180 degree. With this, it is understood that two acute angles can never be supplementary angles. Therefore, the given statement is false. Two obtuse angles can be complementary angles. Let's find out whether the given statement is true or false. Suppose angle A and angle B are obtuse angles. This means angle A is greater than 90 degree and angle B is also greater than 90 degree. If we add both the angles, the sum of angle A and angle B will be greater than 90 degrees. With this, it is understood that two obtuse angles can never be complementary angles. Therefore, the given statement is false. Two obtuse angles can be supplementary angles. Can you tell whether the given statement is true or false? Think. Let me explain this. Suppose angle A and angle B are obtuse angles. This means angle A is greater than 90 degree and angle B is also greater than 90 degree. If we add both the angles, then the sum of angle A and angle B will be greater than 180 degree. With this, it is understood that two obtuse angles can never be supplementary angles. Therefore, the given statement is false. Remember, if one angle is acute and the other is obtuse, then their sum can be 180 degree, which means they can be supplementary angles. Two right angles can be complementary angles. As you would know that two right angles cannot be complementary because their sum is 180 degree, which is greater than 90 degree. Therefore, two right angles can never be complementary angles. Therefore, the given statement is false. Two right angles can be supplementary angles. If we add two right angles, then their sum is 180 degree. Therefore, two right angles can be supplementary angles. This means that the given statement is correct. By identifying the correct and incorrect statements, you would now know that two acute angles can be complementary angles of each other, but they cannot be supplementary angles of each other. Two obtuse angles can neither be complementary angles nor supplementary angles of each other. And two right angles cannot be complementary angles of each other, but they can be supplementary angles. So today, we have seen examples of complementary angles and supplementary angles. Today we will learn about adjacent angles. A picture of a fan is shown here. If we consider any two angles, they are adjacent angles to each other. But to identify whether two angles are adjacent or not, we need to understand the concept thoroughly. So let's go through the concept of adjacent angles. Suppose ray OB, OA and OC start from the common vertex and extend in different directions. In this way, they form angles angle AOB, angle AOC and angle BOC. If we talk about angle AOB and angle AOC, then there are a few facts to consider. For example, here, the vertex O is the common vertex of both the angles. Similarly, ray OA is the common arm of both these angles. The non-common sides are on either side of the common side. That is, their interiors never cover each other. Hence, there will be no overlapping. We call such a pair of angles as adjacent angles. Now look at this figure. You can see that here angle PQR and angle RQM comply with these three conditions. So this is also an adjacent angle. Similarly, some more examples of adjacent angles are as follows. If you look around, you will find adjacent angles in many objects. Some of these examples are as follows. Can you think of some more examples like this? Give it a try. Now look at this figure. Do you think the angles shown here are adjacent angles? Think for a while. Let me tell you, the vertex of both angles is not the same. The vertex of one angle is A, while the vertex of the other angle is B. Therefore, the angles shown in this figure are not adjacent angles. Now look at this figure. Do you think the angles shown here are adjacent angles? Let me tell you, in this figure, the vertex of both the angles are the same, but they do not have any common sides. Therefore, the angles shown in this figure are not adjacent angles. Now, look at this figure. Do you think the angles shown here are adjacent angles? Think for a while. Did you get it? The vertex of both angles are the same. They also have a common side, but the interior of both angles are overlapping. Therefore, these angles cannot be called adjacent angles. Always remember that we can call any two angles adjacent angles only when they comply with all the three conditions. If even one of these conditions are not satisfied or false, the angles will not be called adjacent angles. So today we learned about adjacent angles. In the next video, we will learn about linear pairs. Today we will learn about linear pair. In the previous video, we learned that a pair of angles are called adjacent angles when they have a common vertex, they have a common arm, the non-common arms are on either side of the common arm, that is, their interiors never cover each other, meaning they will never overlap. Now look at this figure. Is the angle shown in it an adjacent angle? Think for a while. You got it right. Here, angle ABC and angle CBD comply with the given three conditions, so they are adjacent angles. This figure shows a special property. Can you tell me what it is? You got it right. Here both the angles together make a straight angle, that is 180 degrees. Here, BC is the common side of both the angles and the sides BA and BD are the non-common sides of both the angles. You can see that side BA and side BD are moving in opposite direction. Such a pair of angles where two angles are adjacent to each other and whose non-common sides are opposite rays is called a linear pair. If you look at angle POQ and angle QOR, both angles here are adjacent angles, but non-common sides OP and OR are not opposite rays. Therefore, we cannot call these two angles linear pair. You can find linear pair in many situations. For instance, when a book is placed on a table and one of its pages is open, then the angles formed on either side of it are linear pairs. When two roads intersect, they form a linear pair. Similarly, You can identify linear pairs in the following examples. Now let's solve a question. In the given figure, identify any 5 linear pairs. To solve this, we will first identify the lines in the given figure. Here, AD and BE are lines. You can see that ray OB forms a linear pair at AD. That is, angle AOB and angle BOD. Similarly, ray OC forms a linear pair at AD, that is, angle AOC and angle COD. If we talk about line BE with the ray OA on it, linear pair angle AOB and angle AOE is formed. Similarly, linear pair angle BOC and angle COE is formed with ray OC on BE. Will you be able to find another pair? Give it a try. So today we learned about linear pair. In the next video, we will study vertically opposite angles.
Today we will learn about vertically opposite angles. Look at this scissors. If we consider both its sides as lines, then here we see two lines intersecting each other. From this intersection, 4 angles are being made here. Let us express this as a figure. As you can see, here line AB is intersecting line DC at point O, due to which 4 angles are being made here. Can you tell what they are? Think. Absolutely right. Their names are angle AOD, angle DOB, angle BOC, and angle COA. Let's talk about the angle AOD. This angle is composed of rays OA and rays OD. If we see here, the ray OB is opposite ray of ray OA. And the ray OC is the opposite ray of ray OD. Here the angle BOC is formed by these opposite rays. When two lines intersect, we have 2 pairs of opposite angles. They are called vertically opposite angles. Hence, angle AOD and angle BOC are the opposite angles of each other. So will you now be able to find the vertically opposite angle of angle COA? Let's find out. Absolutely right. Here the angle COA is vertically opposite to angle BOD. You must remember to recognize vertically opposite angles easily. We have to look in the vertically opposite direction. Now let's look at the properties of the vertically opposite angles. Look at the vertically opposite angles shown in this figure. Do they look equal? Think. Come, let's find out. We will find out their measurements first. For this, we will use a protractor, measure angle AOD by properly placing the protractor. We will get the measurement of the angle AOD as 45 degrees. In the same way, if we find the measurement of angle BOC, then that will also come out to be 45 degrees only. Similarly, if we find the measurement of angle COA, then we will get 135 degree, which will be equal to the measurement of angle BOD. This shows us that the measurement of 2 vertically opposite angles are equal. In this way, the measurement of vertically opposite angles formed by the intersection of 2 lines is similar. Let's prove this. As you all know, when we talk of 2 angles on a line, they are a linear pair. And as you know, the total measurement of a linear pair is 180 degree. From this understanding, we can write for the line AB, angle AOD plus angle DOB is equal to 180 degree. And for the line CD, we can write angle AOD plus angle COA is equal to 180 degrees. Name this equation as 1 and this equation as 2. Here, if we subtract equation 2 from equation 1, we get angle AOD plus angle DOB minus bracket open angle AOD plus angle COA bracket closes is equal to 180 degrees minus 180 degree. That is angle AOD plus angle BOD minus angle AOD minus angle COA is equal to 0. That is angle DOB minus angle COA is equal to 0. The result of this subtraction is only possible when angle DOB and angle COA are equal. But if we see these two angles are vertically opposite to each other, this verifies that the vertically opposite angles are equal. Can you verify that angle AOD is equal to angle BOC in the same way? Try yourself. So today we learned the vertically opposite angle. In the next video, we will understand the meaning of transversal lines.
Today, we will learn about intersecting lines and parallel lines. You already know about line segment and line. You may recall that the shortest route connecting 2 points represents a line segment. For instance, here the shape obtained by joining point A and point B is the line segment AB. When we extend the line segment infinitely from both sides, we get a line. We can say that a line neither starts at a point nor does it end at a point. It increases infinitely, which is represented by an arrow mark on both the ends. Can you tell what we can name this line? Think for a while. You're right. We name it by any 2 points situated on the line. For instance, here we will name it as line AB. A line can also be named using small letters in English. For instance, line L. Remember, line is a one-dimensional shape. When it comes to understanding 2 or more lines simultaneously, we are presented with many situations. For instance, if you have to represent the location of your house on a map, you will have to make different routes. If you look at them carefully, you will notice that some paths intersect each other, whereas there are some routes which even on extending will never intersect each other. We can represent a route with a line. In this way, the pair of lines that intersect each other are called intersecting lines, whereas when a pair of lines that never intersect each other, even on extending them infinitely, they are called parallel lines. Now look at this pair of intersecting lines. In this, both the lines are intersecting at this point. Can you tell on which line is this point? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. This point is on both the lines, which means this point is the common point of both the lines. On this basis, we can say that if 2 lines meet at a point, or if there is a common point in 2 lines, then these are intersecting lines. The point on which intersecting lines intersect is known as the point of intersection. Or we can also say that the common point of intersecting lines is called the point of intersection. If 2 lines do not meet at any point, that is, there is no common point between these 2 lines, then they're called parallel lines. For instance, lines AB and CD are parallel, which is represented like this. There is another special point in the context of parallel lines. Let's understand this with the help of this ribbon. Can we say that both edges of the ribbons are parallel lines? Think for a while. Absolutely right. Since the width of the ribbon is the same, the 2 edges of the ribbon will never intersect, and so we can call them parallel lines. With this, we now know that the distance between both the edges will always be the same. Similarly, the distance between parallel lines also remains the same. On the basis of your understanding of intersecting and parallel lines, can you identify the intersecting lines and parallel lines in the given figures? Pause the video and try it. Okay, let me tell you. If we look at these figures, here lines do not intersect. Therefore, these figures represent parallel lines, whereas in these figures, the lines are intersecting. Therefore, these figures represent intersecting lines. Now let's look at these intersecting lines. These lines make an angle of 90 degrees, that is, a right angle. Such intersecting lines are called perpendicular lines. For instance, here AB is perpendicular to CD and represented like this. Today, we learned about intersecting lines and parallel lines.
Today we will learn about the transversal. Do you play tic-tac-toe game? We need to draw 4 lines to play this game. Can you find out how many different lines is each line intersecting with? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Here you can see that each line is intersecting 2 different lines at 2 different points. A line that intersects 2 or more lines in the same plane at different points is called the transversal of those lines. If you see here, line R is intersecting the line P and line Q at different points. Therefore, line R is the transversal of lines P and Q. This makes different angles with the 2 lines which have an interesting relationship amongst them. We will learn about them in the next video. For now, we will understand the transversal. Look at this figure. Here you can see that the line P and line Q are parallel. Line R is intersecting these 2 lines at different points. So, we can say that the line R is the transversal of line P and line Q. You can also see that the transversal of 2 lines intersects them at 2 different points. That means the transversal of 2 lines has 2 different points of intersection. Now, look at this figure. Is line R a transversal in this case also? Think for a while. We have learned that a line that intersects 2 or more lines in the same plane at different points, it is called the transversal of those lines. Since the line R is intersecting the line P, line Q and line S at different points, we can say that the line R is the transversal of lines P, Q and S. You can also see that there are 3 points of intersection of the transversal on these 3 lines. Similarly, if we make a transversal on 4 lines, then it will intersect them at 4 points. Based on this, we can say that the number of points of intersection of the transversal is equal to the number of lines that are getting intersected. So, tell me, what will be the number of points of intersection of the transversal of 6 lines? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. The number will be 6. Now let us discuss this figure. Is the line R a transversal of line P and line Q? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Here we can see that the line R is intersecting line P and line Q. But It is intersecting both the lines at only one point and not at different points. In such cases, we don't say that the line R is the transversal of line P and line Q. Is the line R a transversal of the three lines P, Q and S? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Since the line P, line Q and line R are intersecting at only one point, we cannot say that the line R is the transversal of the three lines P, Q and S. But if we observe, line R is intersecting the lines Q and S at different points. So, we can say that the line R is the transversal of lines Q and S. Similarly, line R is intersecting the lines P and S at two different points. Therefore, line R is the transversal of lines P and S. Now just think, how many transversals can be drawn for two lines? Let me tell you. The lines extend infinitely on both sides. Therefore, we can draw an infinite number of transversal lines for these two lines. With this, you might have understood the concept of transversal very well. Today, we have learned about transversal. In the next video, we will discuss the angles formed by a transversal. Today we will learn about the following angles formed by a transversal. In the previous video, we have learned that a line that intersects two or more lines at different points is called a transversal. Just like a road intersects two roads, we can see a transversal in the form of the road which is intersecting. When a transversal intersects two lines, then a total of 8 angles are formed. Today we will understand the angles formed by a transversal. Let us begin. Look here. Line L is intersecting the lines M and N at different points. That is why we can call it a transversal. Here we can see that angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4 are in between the lines M and N. All the angles formed in between two lines, formed by a transversal of the two lines, are called interior angles. If we talk about angle 5, angle 6, angle 7 and angle 8, then all of these angles are on the outside of lines M and N. All the angles formed on the outside of the two lines formed by a transversal of the two lines are called exterior angles. Now, let us consider angle 1 and angle 3. If we look at them, they are interior to the lines M and N and on the same side of the transversal. So, we can say that angle 1 and angle 3 form a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. There is another such pair hidden in the given figure. Can you find it out? Try it yourself. You identified it correctly. Along with the pair of angle 1 and angle 3, angle 2 and angle 4 is also a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Let us consider another interesting example to understand this. Here, line AB is intersecting the lines CE at point P and DE at point Q, by which it is forming 8 angles. Can you find out the interior angles formed by the transversal AB? Think for a while. Let me tell you. The interior angles are angle CPB, angle BPE, angle DQA and angle AQE. Similarly, can you find out the exterior angles? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. The exterior angles formed by the transversal AB are angle CPA, angle APE, angle DQB, and angle BQE. Now, can you find out the pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal? Try it yourself. Let me tell you. The pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal AB is angle CPB and angle DQA, and the other pair is angle AQE and angle BPE. Today we have learned about the following angles formed by a transversal. In the next video, we will see some examples related to it. Today we will learn some examples of the following angles formed by a transversal. Rahul looked at the following figure and found out that angle 1 and angle 2 form a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Find out whether Rahul is correct or not. In the previous video, we have learned that a line that intersects two or more lines in the same plane at different points is called the transversal of those lines. Here, line J is intersecting the line K and line L at different points. Therefore, it is a transversal. While intersecting, this transversal forms a total of 8 angles. Among those angles, we need to find out whether angle 1 and angle 2 form a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal or not. We already know that the two angles which are in between the two lines intersected by the transversal and are on the same side of the transversal are called a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. If we consider angle 1 and angle 2, angle 2 is in between the lines L and K, and also on one side of the transversal J. But if we take angle 1, it is on the same side of the transversal where angle 2 is located, but it is not in between the lines L and K. Therefore, we cannot say that these two angles form a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. That's why Rahul's understanding is incorrect. Next example. In the given figure, line L is the transversal of the line N and line M. Find out the interior angles formed by the transversal L. In the previous video, we have learned that all the angles formed in between two lines formed by a transversal of the two lines are called interior angles. Based on this, can you tell the interior angles in this figure? Think for a while. Let me tell you. Here you can see that the angles formed by the transversal L between the lines M and N are angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 8. Therefore, in the given figure, all these angles are interior angles. Next example. In the given figure, line L is the transversal of the line N and line M. Find out the exterior angles formed by the transversal L. We already know that all the angles formed on the outside of the two lines formed by a transversal of the two lines are called exterior angles. Based on this, can you tell the exterior angles in this figure? Think for a while. Let me tell you. Here you can see that the angles formed by the transversal L outside of the two lines M and N are angle 1, angle 2, angle 6 and angle 7. Therefore, in the given figure, all these angles are exterior angles. Today we have learned some examples of the following angles formed by a transversal. Today we will learn about the following angles formed by a transversal. In the previous video, we have learned that a line that intersects two or more lines at different points is called a transversal. When a transversal intersects two lines, then a total of 8 angles are formed. The angles which are interior to the two lines are called interior angles. The angles which are exterior to the two lines are called exterior angles. Similarly, the pair of two angles which are in the middle of the two lines and on one side of the transversal are called the pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. In this video, let us know some more angles that are formed by the transversal. Observe this diagram. Line L is intersecting lines M and N at different points. Hence, it is called a transversal. Since angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4 are in between the lines M and N, they are interior angles. If we talk about angle 1 and angle 4, they are interior angles and their vertex is different and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. Therefore, such angles are called alternate interior angles. Similarly, here, angle 2 and angle 3 are also a pair of alternate interior angles. Similarly, can you find a relation between the angles angle 5 and angle 8? Think for a while. Let me tell you. If we talk about angle 5, angle 6, angle 7 and angle 8, then all of these angles are on the outside of lines M and N. That is why they are exterior angles. But if we consider angle 5 and angle 8, they are exterior angles and their vertex is different and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. Therefore, such angles are called alternate exterior angles. Similarly, here, angle 6 and angle 7 are also a pair of alternate exterior angles. Now let us consider angle 1 and angle 5. Both have a different vertex and both are on the same side of the transversal. But one of them is an interior angle and the other one is an exterior angle. Such angles are called corresponding angles. Can you find other pairs of corresponding angles? Try to do it. Let me tell you. Here angle 3 and angle 7, angle 8 and angle 4 and angle 2 and angle 6 are the pairs of corresponding angles. Let us consider an interesting example to understand this. Here the line AB is intersecting line CE at P and line DE at Q. Can you find out the alternate interior angles formed by the transversal? Pause the video and try to do it. Let me tell you. As you can see here, that the transversal is forming 8 angles. Out of them, the pairs of alternate interior angles are angle CPB and angle AQE and angle DQA and angle BPE. Similarly, the pairs of alternate exterior angles are angle CPA and angle BQE and angle APE and angle DQB. And the pairs of corresponding angles are angle CPA and angle DQA, angle CPB and angle DQB, angle APE and angle PQE, and angle QPE and angle BQE. Today we have learned about the following angles formed by a transversal. In the next video, we will see some examples related to it. Today we will see some examples of the following angles formed by a transversal. Which of the following figure represents a pair of corresponding angles. In the previous video, we have learned that when two angles have a different vertex and both angles are on the same side of the transversal and one of them is an interior angle and the other one is an exterior angle, then such angles are called corresponding angles. Now can you tell me in which of the following figures a pair of corresponding angles is represented? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Corresponding angles are represented in figure C. Next example. Which of the following figures represents a pair of alternate interior angles? Come on, let us solve the second question. We have learned that two angles having a different vertex and are on the opposite sides of the transversal are called alternate interior angles. According to this definition, figure B and figure D have alternate interior angles. Next example. Which of the following figures represents a pair of alternate exterior angles? You might have definitely remembered that two angles having a different vertex and are on the opposite sides of the transversal are called alternate exterior angles. In the given figures, A and E have alternate exterior angles. Next example, look at the following figure carefully and find out. Pair of corresponding angles formed by the transversal N to the lines L and M. Pair of corresponding angles formed by the transversal M to the lines O and N. And alternate interior angles of angle 5. As you can see that the angles formed by the transversal N to the lines L and M are angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4 and angle 5. Out of these, the vertex of two angles, angle 1 and angle 3, are different. Both are formed on the same side of the transversal and one of them is an interior angle and the other one is an exterior angle. So they form a pair of two corresponding angles. Apart from these, there is no other pair of corresponding angles here. As you can see that the angles formed by the transversal M to the lines O and N are angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6. Out of these, the vertex of two angles, angle 3 and angle 6, are different. Both are formed on the same side of the transversal and one of them is an interior angle and the other one is an exterior angle. So they form a pair of two corresponding angles. Apart from these, there is no other pair of corresponding angles here. Now let's find the alternate interior angles of angle 5. If we talk about angle 6 formed by the transversal M to the lines O and N, its vertex is different from the vertex of angle 5. Both angles are interior and on the opposite sides of the transversal M. Therefore, we can say that angle 6 is the alternate interior angle of angle 5. In the given figure, there is another alternate interior angle of angle 5. Can you find it? Try. Let me tell you. The vertex of angle 1 formed by the transversal N to the lines L and M is different from the vertex of angle 5. Both angles are interior and on the opposite side of the transversal N. So we can say that angle 1 is also the alternate interior angle of angle 5. Therefore, the alternate interior angles of angle 5 are angle 6 and angle 1. Today we have seen some examples of the following angles formed by transversal. Today we will revise the following angles formed by a transversal. Children, in the previous two videos, we have learned about the angles formed by a transversal. Let us revise all of them together. When we draw two lines AB and CD and a transversal of these two lines EF which intersects the line AB at O and line CD at P, then we will obtain the angles shaded here. Their names are angle AOE, angle EOB, angle AOF, angle BOF, angle CPE, angle DPE, angle CPF and angle DPF. Here you can see that angle AOF is situated in between the lines AB and CD. All the angles formed between two lines by a transversal of the two lines are called interior angles. Therefore, angle AOF is an interior angle. Can you tell more interior angles similar to this? Try it yourself. Here, similar to angle AOF, angle BOF, angle CPE and angle DPE are also situated in between the two lines AB and CD, therefore they are also interior angles. Now let us consider a pair of interior angles, angle AOF and angle DPE. We have seen that they are interior angles. We can also see that their vertices are different. Also, they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. For any two angles, if the given conditions are true, then the pair of those two angles are called alternate interior angles. Similarly, here, angle BOF and angle CPE are another pair of alternate interior angles. Now consider angle AOE. Can we call it an interior angle? Think for a while. Let me tell you. This angle is outside of both lines AB and CD. All the angles formed on the outside of the two lines formed by a transversal of the two lines are called exterior angles. So, angle AOE is not an interior angle but an exterior angle. Similar to angle AOE, here, angle EOB, angle DPF and angle CPF are also exterior angles. If we consider angle AOE and angle DPF, we can see that both of them are exterior angles. Both have a different vertex and are on the opposite sides of the transversal. Such pairs are called alternate exterior angles. Can you find out another pair of alternate exterior angles apart from this? Try it yourself. Let me tell you. Here, angle CPF and angle EOB are another pair of alternate exterior angles. Now let us concentrate on interior angles. Here the transversal EF of the line AB and the line CD forms four interior angles that are shaded. If we look at angle AOF and angle CPE, then we can see that they are on the same side of the transversal EF. Therefore, angle AOF and angle CPE are a pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. If we look at the other side of the transversal, we can observe another pair of interior angles formed on the same side of the transversal EF, angle BOF and angle DPE. Moving forward, can you tell any relation between angle AOE and angle CPE? Think for a while. Let me tell you, here both have different vertex and are on the same side of the transversal. But one of the angles, angle CPE, is an interior angle, whereas the other angle, angle AOE, is an exterior angle. These two angles form a part which is called a pair of corresponding angles. Always keep in mind that the corresponding angles are formed at the corresponding positions of two lines, like above and below or left and right. With this understanding, we can obtain some more pairs of corresponding angles, angle AOF and angle CPF, angle BOF and angle DPF, angle DPE and angle EOB. Let us look at an interesting question. Here the transversal K of the lines L and M is making the shaded angles. Describe angle 1 with respect to all the remaining angles. Pause the video and think about it. We can see that angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. Can you explain the meaning of this? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. This means that the sum of angle 1 and angle 2 is 180 degree. Therefore, here angle 1 is the supplementary angle of angle 2. Similarly, angle 1 and angle 3 are also supplementary angles. Angle 1 is the vertically opposite angle of angle 4. Angle 1 is the corresponding angle of angle 5 because they have a different vertex and are on the same side of the transversal. Also, they are at the corresponding positions of two lines. Angle 1 and angle 7 are exterior angles. If we talk about angle 1 and angle 8, then we can see that both are exterior angles but are on the opposite sides of the transversal. So, they form a pair of alternate exterior angles. Similarly, can you find out the relation between angle 1 and angle 6? Discuss with your friends and teacher and find out the answer to this and the reason behind it. Also, try to describe the other angles with respect to the remaining angles. Now, look here. There are two parallel lines L and M and the transversal P is forming the shaded angles. There will be an interesting relation between some angles. We will understand them in our next video. Today we have revised all the angles formed by a transversal. In the next video, we will discuss the angles formed by the transversal of two parallel lines.
Today we will learn about the angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. Look at these pairs of lines. Can you tell us any difference between them? Give it a thought. Let us tell you. In this pair, two lines are intersecting each other. Such lines are called intersecting lines. Now, look at these pairs of lines. In this pair, no matter how much the line P and line Q are extended, they will never intersect each other. That is, the distance between these two will always remain the same. Lines that never intersect are called parallel lines. The line P and line Q are parallel. We show it like this. Now, look at these pair of lines. The two lines in the figure do not intersect, but they have no endpoints. So let's extend them. If we look at them, they intersect at one point. That is, both the lines are not parallel, but the intersecting lines. Today we will discuss about the transversal on parallel lines. In the previous video, we learnt the transversal of two lines makes different angles. Then those two lines are parallel. We get to know even more interesting things about the angles made by the transversal. Let's learn about them. We will understand this by doing an activity. By placing the ruler on paper, we will draw a line along its upper edge. Without changing the position of the ruler, we will draw the line M along the lower edge. This will give us two parallel lines. Line L parallel M. Then we will draw a transversal from which we will get the angles shown. Let's find the measure of angle 1 using a protractor. As you can see, here we have got a measurement of angle 1 as 50 degrees. Similarly, with concept of corresponding angle, we find the angle corresponding to angle 1, that is angle 5, then it will also be 50 degrees. we can say that the corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5, are equal. Similarly, the corresponding angles, angle 2 and angle 6, are also equal. The corresponding angles, angle 3 and angle 7, are also equal, and the corresponding angles, angle 4 and angle 8, are also equal. Keep in mind that all these corresponding angles are created by the transversal of parallel lines. Now, look at this figure, in which it shows two lines and its transversal. But here, the two lines are not parallel. Would the measure of each corresponding angles be the same? Even in this case, we can think. Let's find out. If we make this angle on a trace paper and keep it on the corresponding angle, then we will find that they do not cover each other completely. If we find the measurement of any angle and its corresponding angle with the help of the protractor, then we will know that in this case the measurement of the corresponding angle is different. So what do you know from these two situations? This shows us that if two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then the measurement of each pair of corresponding angles is the same. If the lines are not parallel, then the corresponding angles created by the transversal are not equal. You can keep the shape of F in mind to easily identify a pair of corresponding angles. Here, these angles are the corresponding angles. Similarly, these angles are also the corresponding angles. Find the pair of corresponding angle through this trick by pausing the video. Now looking at this figure, can you tell what is the relation between angle 3 and angle 5? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. These are alternate interior angles. Like the corresponding angles, there is also an interesting relationship between the alternate interior angles formed by the transversal of the parallel lines. Let's understand this. Here angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles, and we know that the vertically opposite angles are equal. Therefore, we can say that the angle 3 is equal to angle 1, but angle 5 and angle 1 are the corresponding angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. So, they are also equal. Since angle 1 is equal to both angle 3 and angle 5, so we can say that angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Similarly, if we draw this angle on the trace paper and place it at its alternate interior angle, then we find that the measurement of both is the same. Now, look at this figure. In this figure also, two lines and their transversal are shown, but here both the lines are not parallel. In this case, if we make this angle on the trace paper, putting it at its alternate interior angle, then in this case, both the angles do not cover each other completely. That is, their measurements are not equal. We can see this for any pair of alternate angles. So, what do you know from these two situations? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. We can say that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate interior angles is the same. If the lines are not parallel, then the alternate interior angles formed by their transversal are not equal. To identify a pair of alternate angles, you can take the shape of Z into consideration. Similarly, the pair of alternate external angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines is also equal. Hence, angle 1 is equal to angle 7 and angle 2 is equal to angle 8. You should find out the reason why. Looking at the given figure, will you be able to find of any pair of interior angles formed by transversal of parallel lines on the same side? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. Here are such pairs, angle 3 and angle 6, or angle 4, angle 5. Let's talk about angle 4 and angle 5. If we look at angle 4 and angle 2, they are vertically opposite angles, so they are equal. If you see the measurement of both the angles, then you will find that the measurement of each of the two is 130 degrees. That is, angle 2 is equal to angle 4, 130 degrees. Similarly, if we look here, that angle 5 is the corresponding angle of angle 1. Therefore, angle 5 is equal to angle 1 is equal to 50 degrees. If we add angle 4 and angle 5, we get 130 degrees plus 50 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Is the total measurement. Can you tell if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees? Then what are we calling them? Exactly. We call these supplementary angles. Similarly, here you can see that angle 3 and angle 6 are also supplementary because here angle 3 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees. This shows us that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. If the lines are not parallel, then each pair of interior angles formed on the same side of the transversal is not supplementary. Today we learnt about angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. In the next video, we will learn how to check whether two lines parallel or not. Today we will learn how to check whether two lines are parallel or not. Suppose we are given two lines, line L and line M. Are these two lines parallel? Give it a thought. Let us tell you. Let us draw a transverse line P which intersects line L and line M. These different angles constructed by the line P are as follows. Keeping in mind the shape of F, the pair of corresponding angles. You must remember that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles is equal. Is the measure of each corresponding angles the same here? Let's find out. If we make this angle on the trace paper and keep it at its corresponding angle, we see that both the angles cover each other perfectly. That is, they are equal. Similarly, with the help of the protractor, let us find out whether this pair of corresponding angles are equal or not. We see that the measurements of these two angles are the same, that is, they are equal. Since all pairs of corresponding angles are equal, the line L and M are parallel here. In this way, if a transversal cuts two lines in such a way that the corresponding angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. Now, keeping in mind the shape of Z, find out which pair of alternate interior angles are there. So here are the pairs of alternate interior angles. We can also find out whether the line L and line M are parallel by considering the alternate interior angle. Let's understand this. You must remember that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal line, then the measurement of each pair of alternate interior angle is the same. If we make this angle on a trace paper and place it at its alternate interior angle, then the two angles cover each other completely, that is, their measurements are equal. This is true for all pairs of alternate interior angle. Since each pair of alternate interior angles is equal here, we can say that the line L and the line M are parallel lines. In this way, if a transversal cuts two lines in such a way that the alternate interior angles are equal, then those lines are parallel. We know that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. If we observe here, in this pair of interior angles formed on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, that is, the sum of these is 180 degrees. So we can say that the line L and the line M are parallel lines. With this, we can say that if a transversal cuts two lines in such a way that the pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal is supplementary, then we say that the lines are parallel. In this way, you can now check the parallel lines with the corresponding angles, alternate interior angles and interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Today we learned how to check whether two lines are parallel or not. In the next video, we will see some examples related to this concept. Today we will see examples of angles formed by transversals on parallel lines. Example: the given diagram shows the intersection of rail tracks and road. The railway tracks are parallel. Similarly, the roadsides are also parallel. Based on this information, find the measure of x. This question may seem to be difficult, but it is a very interesting question. Let's solve it. Here we can assume that the railway tracks and the roadsides go infinitely without meeting. So, we can represent them as parallel lines. To solve this question, let's name them after taking some points on the lines. Similarly, we will also name the points formed at the intersection. Here we are given that the angle QBD is equal to 63 degrees. Here we see that the line AD and the line EH are parallel and the line PQ is their transversal line. Here angle QBD and angle PFE are alternate interior angles formed by the transversal of two parallel lines. So, they are equal. That is, angle QBD is equal to angle PFE is equal to 63 degrees. Now see, line PQ and line RS are also parallel lines and EH is their transversal line. We see that angle PFE and angle EGR are corresponding angles. Since they are corresponding angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines, they are equal. In this way, angle PFE is equal to angle EGR is equal to 63 degrees. But as you can see, angle EGR and angle HGR are both adjacent angles, but their rays GE and GH are both rays moving in opposite directions. Therefore, the two angles together form a linear pair. That is, angle EGR plus angle HGR is equal to 180 degrees. Since we know angle EGR is equal to 63 degrees, we can easily find the value of angle HGR. Angle HGR is equal to 180 degrees minus angle EGR is equal to 180 degrees minus 63 degrees. Therefore, angle HGR is equal to 117 degrees. That is, the value of x in the given picture is 117 degrees. We can also solve this by a different method. For example, Here line PQ and line RS are parallel and the line AD is their transversal line. We can say that angle QBD is equal to angle SCD is equal to 63 degrees because they're corresponding angles. Similarly, lines AD and line EH are parallel and RS is their transversal line. Here we can say that angle SCD plus angle HGR is equal to 180 degrees because we know that on parallel lines, interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Hence, the sum will be 180 degrees. Therefore, we can say that angle HGR is equal to 180 degrees minus angle SCD. Since angle SCD is equal to 63 degrees, so angle HJI is equal to 180 degrees minus 63 degrees is equal to 117 degrees. That is, the value of x is 117 degrees. Next example. Line LM is transversal of line PQ and line ST. Angle MCQ is equal to 32 degrees and angle SOM is equal to 148 degrees. Show that line PQ and line ST are parallel. Here we see that angle MCQ and angle LCP are vertically opposite angles. Therefore, they will be equal. That is, angle MCQ is equal to angle LCP is equal to 32 degrees. Here, angle LCP and angle SOM are the internal angles on the same side of the transversal lines. If we add them, we get angle LCP plus angle SOM is equal to 32 degrees plus 148 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. If the pairs of interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary, then lines have to be parallel.
If a transversal line cuts two lines in such a way that the pair of interior angles
On the same side of the transversal are supplementary,
then we can say that those lines are parallel.
this makes it clear that the line PQ and line ST are parallel. Today we saw examples of angles formed by a transversal on parallel lines. In the next video, we will see some misconception related to them. Today we will see the misconceptions related to the angles formed by transversals on parallel lines. Misconception 1. Which statement is correct with reference to the following figure? Some children memorize that the Z-shaped angles are the same. The shape of Z in the figure represents alternate interior angles. Since angle P and angle Q in the figure are formed by these alternating angles, the shape of Z, they assume that angle P and angle Q are equal. Some children memorize that alternate interior angles are always the same. In the given figure, they ignore that the line X and the line Y are not parallel and assume that the alternate interior angles angle P and angle Q are equal. In both these situations, they choose option 1 as the answer. But this is a wrong answer. The correct understanding is that alternate interior angles are equal only when they are made by the transversal of two parallel lines. Since the line X and line Y are not parallel, angle P and angle Q cannot be equal. Hence, option 2 is the correct answer. Misconception 2. Nisha and Manisha are considering the following figure. Nisha believed that angle A is equal to angle B in the given figure, while Manisha believed that angle A is not equal to angle B. Find out which of the two is correct. Some children memorize that the pair of corresponding angles are always equal. They ignore that the line P and line Q are not parallel in the given figure. They think that the angle A and angle B are corresponding angles, so they are equal. But this is a misunderstanding. Hence, Nisha's understanding is wrong. That is, option 1 is the wrong answer. The correct understanding is that the two corresponding angles can be equal if they are formed by the transversal of two parallel lines. Here, angle A and angle B are made by the intersection of line P at line Q and line R. These are surely corresponding angles, but since line Q and line R are not parallel, so we cannot say that they are equal. Therefore, Manisha's understanding is correct here. That is, option 2 is the correct answer. Misconception 3. Find whether the line C is a transversal. Look at this figure. If children are asked whether the line given in the shown figure is a transversal, some children answer no. Some children make the understanding that if a line intersects two parallel lines, only then the line intersecting can be called a transversal. That's why they answer no. But this is a misunderstanding. Keep in mind that it is not necessary that the two lines intersected are to be parallel, but if any two lines are intersected by a third, then it is called a transversal. Therefore, C here is a transversal. So today we saw misconceptions related to angles formed by transversal on parallel lines.